600 left to go. Bellard fired up, double-edged and gone through on the inside to lead Head versus Heart. Around the outside of them now is High Desire, making a line of 3 almost. Superfine behind them. In the middle is At the Man's and Lucky Linda Lulu. 4 and 5 deep coming around the home corner. Jack Irish back towards the rail, and Metal Rain is last, but double-edged with a handy lead going by the 300. At least 2 in front of Superfine. Lucky Linda Lulu starting to run on pretty well down the outside. Double-edged is the leader, nearing the 100. Here comes Lucky Linda Lulu with a head full of steam. Double-edged though, holding on from Lucky Linda Lulu, and Atherman's driving in the middle. Double-edged though prevailed. Double-edged is one from Atherman's, getting through in the centre from Lucky Linda Lulu. Metal Rain is deeper out. Behind them Jack Irish and Superfine with a long way back to Head versus Heart, and tailing out to run last is High Desire. Double-edged is the winner, ridden by apprentice Fiona Bell. And $1.90 and $1.30 from Athermans, who attacked the line very well late in the race. $2.30, and Lucky Linda Lulu close up $1.20. 157 will be the placings after race 1. The Tab Touch Maiden, double-edged, was able to jump well from a more favourable barrier this afternoon. The Pro Art gelding, and has prevailed from Athermans doing its best late in the race. And likewise Lucky Linda Lulu. They were making good ground, but at the end of the 1,000, when the clock stopped running, Double Edge was able to hold a little margin on them and get the money for owner N.J. McGill. Trained by Simon Miller, by Pro Art from Monty's Double by W.O. Second placing will go the way of Athermans for P Green by Demerit from Pure Carbon. Fred Kersley, Sean McGruddy. Lucky Linda Lulu's by Passenger from Jupard for Mrs. S. Reynolds, trained by Brett Pope, ridden by Troy Turner. 157 Metal Rain from the back in that field of 8 there, running on to grab 4th. Margins, half a length and neck. 58.87 the time, 34.34 the last 600. So he cracks it today. Double-edged at his 7th race start. Certainly the gate there, a more advantageous one for him this afternoon in comparison to recent runs where he's gone down. The next event, race 2, the DeSonia Plate, number 1 Neurological, is the scratching a field of 8 once again here in race number 2. In the meantime, let's take you downstairs. We're back into the yard, and today in that role once again is Mark Warwood.
Thanks, Darren. I'm with Colin Island, the representative of the Simon Miller yard. That was pretty easy, Simon. Kyle.
It was good, yeah. It was a good little win. It got softened up a little bit early, and he had a good kick when straightening up, and Fiona rode it well, so it was good to get the monkey off the back. Was the barrier the key today? I think so, for sure. He's an on-speed horse, and the other day he had a few other horses trying to be in the same position as him, so barrier helped today, and good for Neil to break the duck with our stable too, so it was a good result for him as well. Where do you think you go next with this horse? We'll just see how he pulls up, mate. It's good to get the monkey off the back there, as I said, and he's a progressive sort of horse, and we'll just find a nice little Class 1000 somewhere and go from there. Talking about your horses later in the day, probably the most interesting race is race 4. Can you perhaps talk a little bit about Party Bus, relation to Venga Bus, not seen in a competitive race before? Can you give the punters a bit of an insight? Yeah, he's a little bit behind the 8 ball, Party Bus. He's very similar to Venga Bus, but he's going to take a lot of benefit from the run today, and hopefully he can be a nice horse going forward. And the other bloke, Deadly Shot's drawn a bit sticky, but he's got his fair share of ability as well, so hopefully one can salute. Well, congratulations, Niall. Hopefully a bit more success later in the day. Thanks, Mark. And in comes Fiona Bell, apprentice jockey. I think that's her 4th win in town this year. We'll be catching up with her shortly, just weighing in rather with Brad Lewis, the chief steward here in Perth. Really good ride from Fiona there. And Fiona, if we could just catch up, we spoke to you before the race. Well, I spoke to you off camera before the race. Played out exactly as you thought it would.
Yeah, got a barrier this time and definitely helped him out. Nice run through him and could just finish off today. I mean, the second horse was coming quite fast at the end. Were you in any doubt in the run, did you feel? Just when he was in the front for that long, he sort of lost interest a bit, growled at him and kept going.
Now, this was a 1,000-metre race. Do you expect him to stretch out over a bit further, maybe 11 or 1,200 metres?
Perhaps when he's older. Right now it feels like 1,000 or 11 is pretty much his limit.
Talk about you've got one more ride here at Belmont Park later today. Give us a bit of an insight into that.
He's dropped back to a 12 today, coming off a little bit of a break, so we'll just see what he does. He's still a bit green down the straight.
And the horse's name?
Little Red Roman.
Little Red Roman. So congratulations, Fiona. I think that's your 4th win in the city. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Fiona Bell there, the winner of the first race on Double Edge for Simon Miller.